Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel at Future Way Next to World included my favorite destination Canada. Today we're going to talk about Canada new immigration rules for 2024, Foreign Workers and Students IRCC 2024 to 2025. We're going to talk on analysis for Canada immigration just to break down what it all means. You know it's a hot topic for the first time ever. Okay, Canada set these like hard targets for temporary residents, so not just permanent residency, not just those seeking per residency, but enter like foreign workers and international students. Wow, okay, so it's not just like rolling out the welcome mat anymore. Precisely, and get this, okay, they're projecting a drop of nearly 445,000 temporary residents per year in both 2025 and 2026. There are about 3 million temporary residents, oh wow, in Canada right now. So we're talking about a big chunk, a significant portion of the population, huge if you're one of the many people considering Canada. I mean, this is crucial information, this is really important to know. Absolutely, this means for different types of temporary resident size fits all situation. Okay, so let's start with foreign workers. Okay, those in lower wage sectors, think agriculture, construction, hospitality. They're going to feel the most, right? These industries have historically relied on temporary workers, but that's changing. So does that mean the door is slammed shut for those sectors? Not necessarily slammed shut, but definitely narrower. Okay, meanwhile higher wage sectors, okay, like healthcare, tech and finance might still have openings, but competition's going to be fierce. Okay, so example, the tech industry is hungry for data scientists and AI specialists, so even highly qualified applicants in those fields will need to stand out from the crowd. It's a totally different ball game. Someone with their sights set on working in those fields, it's time to really polish up that resume, right? Absolutely, but what about international students? They're a big part of the temporary resident picture too, and they're facing a new reality as well. We're talking stricter work permit applications, okay, a 10% reduction in post-graduation work permits starting in 2025, and a bigger emphasis on English language proficiency, right? It's not just about getting accepted to a program anymore. The rules for staying and working after graduation are changing, so for a student dreaming of building a life in Canada after their studies, right, it's not as straightforward. What's driving this shift? Why is Canada suddenly being so selective? It's more complex than simply reducing numbers. I think of it as managing the flow of people coming in and out of the country. They're looking at things like how many temporary residents transition to permanent status each when permits expire, right, and what the needs are in different sectors. So trying to find a balance between attracting talent, right, and managing the number. Exactly, they're trying to match the inflow of temporary residents and ensure that the system benefits Canada in the long run. And remember, Canada is still very much open to immigration, just with a more calculated approach. They're still expecting a slight increase in temporary residents in 2027, albeit a small one of around 17,000 people, so there is a glimmer of for those set on Canada. But let's be real, it can be navigating this new system. It's about understanding these changes, making informed decisions, and knowing what to expect. You're right. So before we get into how to actually tackle this new system, okay, let's talk about the other side, permanent residency. What's happening with those targets, right? So we know the goal is 395,000 new permanent residents in 2025, right? But then it drops to 380,000 in 2026, right? And dips even further to 365,000 in 2027. So what's the rationale behind this gradual decrease? Is Canada becoming less welcoming, right, to immigrants overall? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? On the surface it might seem like Canada's closing the door. It's not about shutting people out, right, but rather about recalibrating the system. Canada has always prided itself on being a welcoming nation. That hasn't changed. These adjustments are more about fine-tuning the immigration process to ensure that it's sustainable, so they're not turning their back on immigration but being more. It's like trying to find a sweet spot between welcoming newcomers and ensuring that those already in Canada, particularly temporary residents, right, have a clear path to permanent residency. Absolutely, it's about creating a system that works for everyone involved. And keep in mind that while the permanent residency numbers might be slightly lower in the later years, they sign is still very much committed to welcoming skilled workers, families and refugees. So it's not a complete shutdown but a shift in priorities. Those hoping to make Canada their permanent home, well, one key takeaway is that Canada is placing a stronger emphasis on economic immigration. They're prioritizing individuals who possess the skills and experience to make an immediate contribution to the Canadian economy. So for someone listening who's thinking, I've got Skills. I'm ready to work. Canada might still be a fantastic option, absolutely, but exactly now more than ever it's crucial, right, to do your homework, research those in demand occupations and make sure your credentials are recognized in Canada. So like healthcare professionals, tech workers, engineers, those high demand fields need high demand fields, and we mentioned earlier, don't underestimate the value of professional guidance. An immigration lawyer, right, or consultant can be invaluable in navigating the intricacies of the application process that makes sense. They can help you cut through the red tape and understand the nuances, right, of the system, absolutely. So it's not all doom and gloom. There are still avenues for those who are determined to make Canada their home, but it sounds like preparation and a clear strategy are key, absolutely. And remember, the Canadian immigration system is dynamic, right? These targets and policies, right, can and likely will be adjusted over time based on changing economic conditions and global events. So flexibility and adaptability are key. It's not a one-on-one process you need to, it's a process. Stay informed, yeah, and adjust your approach as needed. Okay, so we've talked about the numbers, the targets, and the reasons behind these changes, but for someone who's serious about making the move, what concrete steps can they take to navigate this new reality? Canada still sounds like a possibility, but where do I even start with this new system? What's the first step they should take? The very first step is to acknowledge that the rules have changed. Okay, don't rely on outdated information or assumptions, right? It's a mindset and you need to approach it with fresh eyes. Check what comes next. It's time to roll up your sleeves and do your research. Okay, thoroughly investigate the specific immigration programs, right, that match your goals and qualifications. Okay, the Canadian government website is a fantastic resource. Don't stop to explore blogs, follow immigration news, connect with people who have recently gone through the process. Their first-hand experiences can offer invaluable insights, so gather as much information as possible from a variety of sources, but this can feel overwhelming, right? It absolutely can be. Like, where do you draw the line? Yeah, and that's where professional help comes in. Okay, seriously, don't underestimate the value of consulting with an immigration lawyer or consultant, right? They can provide personalized guidance on the complex maze of immigration paperwork, right? That's a great analogy. Their expertise can be invaluable in navigating this process successfully. And while you're gathering information, don't forget to honestly assess your own profile, right? Are your skills in demand in Canada? Do you meet the language requirements? Be realistic about your chances, so no sugarcoating it. Honesty is crucial, absolutely. It's far better to adjust your strategy early on than face disappointment. Downright solid advice. So be informed, be prepared, be realistic. What other words of wisdom do you have for those who are determined to make Canada their new home? Don't give up easily. The Canadian immigration process can be long and challenging, yeah, but persistence pays off, right? Stay organized, meet deadlines, and most importantly, yeah, be patient. Persistence is key, yes, and remember, even though the system is evolving, Canada's core values remain strong. They still value diversity, inclusion, and the contributions of immigrants. That's right, Canada's story is a story of immigration, right? These changes are simply a new chapter, yeah, in that ongoing narrative. Well said. We've taken a deep look into Canada's new immigration landscape, exploring the changes, the rationale behind them, and most importantly, first step towards making informed decisions about your future. And as we've emphasized throughout this deep dive, right, adaptability is crucial. Stay informed, stay flexible, and don't hesitate to seek guidance when needed. The path might look different now, but the destination, a new life in Canada, is still within reach for those who are prepared to put in the effort. Beautifully put. And as you can continue your journey, here's something to consider. We've discussed how these changes aim to balance Canada's labor needs with its commitment to immigration, but what other factors might influence immigration policy in the years to come? Global events, climate change, something entirely different. Keep exploring, keep learning. And as always, thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Next fascinating topic, looking forward to it. Until then, stay curious. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.